What's up YouTube? If you're new here, my name is J.R. Smith and I'm an incoming first year medical student. So the idea of personal evolution has always intrigued me. It's pretty easy to look back and see how much you've grown physically over time. And with years of formal schooling, we've all experienced educational growth over time. But I've come to realize other components of life where we can still experience growth. And unlike the first two, developing these phases of your life is something you have complete control over. You may remember from my last video where I briefly mentioned the 1% rule, namely if you commit to becoming 1% better every day, that will eventually lead to compounding personal progress over time. But what qualifies as better and what tangible things can somebody do to become better on a daily basis? Just like the idea of success, better may mean completely different things to different people. But for the sake of this video, I think we can agree that physical, mental, and spiritual health are things that are important to us, and these are also areas of our life where we can experience daily progress. I've noticed that when I'm my best mentally, physically, and spiritually, everything in life seems to take care of itself and I experience the highest quality of life that I possibly can. But when I'm not my best, I can fall into a rut. And even further, when I commit to becoming better on a daily basis, I experience a sense of personal evolution, and I'm able to look back at my old self and notice changes in my tendencies and my frame of thought and the quality of work I'm able to produce, etc. And this is what James Clear means in his book Atomic Habits when he says that you can experience compounding improvement, compounding progress, if you commit to becoming 1% better every day. You may not be able to realize a notable difference in the first few days or even weeks, but if you commit to that personal growth over the course of a month and then 6 months and then a year, you won't even be able to recognize the old you. But what tangible things can you actually do to make those 1% gains? Well, let's go back to those aspects of our life that we have a degree of control over. Our physical, mental, and spiritual health. Now, we can't control everything. We can't control some of the physical or mental illnesses we may experience, but there are certain things we can do on a daily basis to still fulfill that 1% improvement goal. Let's start with physical health. Now, it's not a surprise that exercising or eating healthy are ways that we can improve our health, but how can we create habits out of something that, let's be honest, may not be the most enjoyable process for many of us? What you want to do in order to maintain consistency is find ways to improve that are also actually enjoyable for you. If you're like me, you may not necessarily like running, but you may love lifting weights, or you may love yoga or Pilates. Or maybe the best you can do is a 15-minute walk around the block. It's just about finding something that you will enjoy doing that will also facilitate your progress. You can apply that same way of thinking to eating healthy. Start replacing those unhealthy foods with healthier alternatives that you actually enjoy eating. If you begin this journey towards daily personal improvement, trying to gain 20% of improvement every single day, you're only setting yourself up for failure. The thing that's nice about the 1% rule is it's just 1%. If you eat fast food every single day, don't think that you're gonna wake up in the morning and suddenly be a gluten-free vegetarian. To start, you can just try to commit 1 to 2 days a week to at-home meals, and yes, this may mean you have to learn to cook a little bit, but hey, we're growing, so we get to learn new skills. And once the small progress solidifies and starts to build on itself, that daily walk may turn into a full-blown high-intensity workout. And instead of craving junk food, you may begin to actually prefer your homemade meals. Now let's talk about your mental health. We can all experience varying levels of stress, anxiety, and depression, and they can come in waves that can potentially leave us debilitated. But just as there are things we can do to improve our physical health, there are things we can do to improve our state of mind. Now, this is not to serve as a replacement for prescribed medications for those with more severe mental illnesses. These are just tools that we can use to experience the same incremental progress in our mind. One thing I found incredibly beneficial is daily meditation. Again, you don't have to commit to hour-long practices every day to start, but I found that even 5 to 10 minutes of meditation a day can have a lasting impact on the state of my mind. A systematic review, which is the highest quality type of study in medical research, which was published last year in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health, studied the effects of meditation on students in particular and found that interventions based on cognitive behavioral programs, self-reflection, and mindfulness-based approaches produce satisfactory and significant results in relation to the reduction of stress anxiety, and depression in students. Many studies have found similar results across various groups of people regardless of age, gender, or profession. So I believe one of the most impactful things we can do for our minds is simply meditate. Another practice targeted towards the development and growth of our mind is reading. In my last video, I went through 3 books that I believe everybody should read, but regardless of what you read, just the act of reading can do wonders for your brain. Research has indicated that reading can strengthen the brain, increase empathy, prevent cognitive decline, reduce stress, alleviate depression, and help with your quality of sleep. I'll include links in the description below to the articles researching these topics, but even when I think about some of the most successful people in the world and people that are extremely inspirational, they are oftentimes avid readers. The benefit of reading can't be emphasized enough, not only for its capacity to promote learning, but for the actual mental health benefits that come along with it. And again, you don't have to commit to reading 1 book a week to experience growth. Try reading 5 to 10 minutes before bed each night, and over time you'll find yourself naturally reading more and more.
By the way, if you're wondering, I live in Minnesota now, so I'm getting used to wearing thermal long sleeves indoors.
Finally, I have found the value of spiritual growth to be critical in my overall development. When I feel like I'm aligned spiritually, I just have an overall heightened sense of peace and joy. My relationships are better, and my overall perspective on life is better. Now, I know everyone embraces different levels of spirituality, but I'd encourage you to explore this area of your life and see what it does for you personally. For me, simply learning more about what I believe in is enjoyable. And having 1 day a week where Madison and I go to church isn't just good for me personally, but it's great for our relationship as well. Even if going to church means turning the TV on and sitting on our couch. Whether you are reading or going to church, there are so many ways for you to make incremental progress on your spiritual life if that's something that you're interested in doing. The idea of improving every day can seem extremely intimidating at first, but making your goal just to improve 1% at a time makes it seem a lot more feasible. And there will surely be those days where you get off track. It's not the end of the world. Give yourself some slack, brush it off, and just be determined the following day to get back on track. Personal growth is no different than any long-term project you begin. It's extremely intimidating to start, painstakingly slow at times, but once you see the polished version, it's something you can be proud of, and you'll realize that it was well worth it in the end. Evolution is a never-ending process, and when you look back, you want to see growth. So what we can do now is look forward and make a plan to get there 1% at a time. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope some points resonated with you. If so, be sure to like, subscribe, share. That's the best way to support this channel. New videos coming every week, and you're not going to want to miss it. But until the next one, keep evolving, and I'll see you guys next time.
Okay, I'm trying to do something here. I was trying to do something here. Okay.